Future me here. I didn't explicitly say this in the video, but this is an opinion. I was not very happy making this. If you don't agree with my opinion, that's okay. I'd love to hear them down in the comments, but I just want to get that out of the way. This is my opinion. Please don't get me mad at me. Thank you. Hey everyone, welcome back to this brand new review on the channel today. Today I'm going to be reviewing Halloween Ends, the brand new Halloween movie that came out yesterday. I took my buddies to see it in the theater, and I'm going to talk about it today. Spoiler alert, I didn't like it. I'm going to try and be as constructive and professional as I can throughout this review, but you need to understand that I love this franchise, and they absolutely butchered it this movie, and I honestly have no idea how you butcher something so hard. And I'm going to explain to you why, without spoiling it for you, of course, but just expect a lot of this throughout this entire review of just pain. Just pain. But let's just start out with some of the good stuff, as it's dramatically shorter than the stuff that is awful about this movie, but I'll just talk about the good stuff right away and we'll get it out of the way. Number one, the cinematography. Cinematography in this movie is pretty good. It's actually pretty. There's a lot of great scenes in it that have great transitions and a lot of good just a lot of really good shots. Such wasted potential for like the sense of suspense and stuff. It's never fully utilized, but the film is pretty to look at. Besides one scene with a whole bunch of flashing lights, and it's an absolute just nightmare to watch. It's awful. But besides that, it's good. I want to get this out of the way too. There are interesting ideas in this movie somewhere. If these ideas were fleshed out more, this movie would be a whole lot better, because, spoiler alert, this isn't much of a spoiler. If you've seen the trailer to this movie, you know nothing about this movie. You know nothing. This movie is nothing like what I assume anyone would think it would be. No one. There is no way you could predict, from looking at the trailer, that this is what the movie was going to be like. There are good ideas in this movie. There is a good movie in here somewhere, but they didn't flesh it out enough. But the ideas are there, and I compliment the people who made this movie to at least try and do something different. Does not mean it was good, because it was not good, but you tried. I will say the one thing in this movie that was amazing, like truly amazing, was Jamie Lee Curtis. She's always the highlight of these movies. She's always the best actor who's giving it her all on screen. She loves this franchise. She's been with it since the beginning, and I will always support Jamie Lee Curtis, because she's a great part of this movie, and I really liked her here. That doesn't change. But that about does it for the good things about this movie. There's nothing else that's actually good about this movie. Nothing. I challenge you to find one good thing about this movie that I have not said already. Because how could you find it? This movie is awful. It is a dumpster fire. I hate it. First thing that I hate about this movie, the horror is non-existent. This movie has no tension whatsoever. It tries to have tension, it really does. There are certain sequences that play out how you would think a Halloween movie goes. There's certain scenes that there's a lot of walking, and you know, it's just set up. It's set up so easily for such a good scare. But there are no moments in this movie that I genuinely thought to myself, that was scary, or that was well done in terms of tension. And the jump scares. Oh my god, the jump scares. I understand that the Halloween movies have had jump scares in them before, but this movie easily takes the cake for worst jump scares in the franchise. There's not a single good jump scare in this movie. Even if they wanted it to just be jump scares, there's nothing of value here. There's nothing. There's no genuine good horror. Nothing. And honestly, that applies with the kills as well. For like all 5 of them, which I can't even remember the 4. I only remember like 1 or 2. A Halloween movie with like 2 noteworthy kills. You just have to show them kill someone in a good, cool way that's actually fun to watch. But you can't even do that in this movie. You don't even do that. There's one scene that I remember from this movie like that. That's it. Another thing I want to talk about this movie is the sheer fact it shits completely over Michael Myers as a character's legacy. Everything about this character is dead, thanks to this movie. This movie makes him look like such a laughingstock and such a major pussy, it is hilarious. I am dumbfounded by how weak they made Michael look in this movie. He can't do anything. It's like he's just withered away. Like he's just some old man who's withered away and can't even do anything anymore. Which doesn't make sense considering the other movies where he's completely fine. And don't even bring up the fact that he's older. Don't even bring up the fact, because in the other films, he was an old geezer as well. And he was still killing people, and he was still this brutal force of nature that if anyone messes with him, they're dead. But in this movie, you just don't get that. It feels like a complete departure from the character that they've set up over these movies. This force of nature that can't be stopped. Now, he can be stopped by literally anyone. It is ridiculous. How difficult was it to make Michael Myers one of the most popular characters in horror fiction scary? He's not scary at all in this movie. He's, like, funny bad. And it's not even just to make him look weak. They made him look weak in the points of the plot where they needed him to be. Certain sequences, he is useless. Freaking useless. And then in certain scenes where they actually need him to be a threat, he's back to his normal self. So what was the point of showing him as, like, just weak? And you know why? It's plot. Because they have no good ideas. Because they didn't know what the fuck they were going to do. So they just said, hey, let's make Michael Myers just an idiot. Let's just make him not be able to do anything for himself. That's a great idea, guys. I'm going to move away from all the Michael Myers stuff and horror, and how this is a horror movie without no suspense whatsoever. And I'm just going to move on to some of the other stuff that I know everyone is talking about. And I'm going to talk about it as well, because what the fuck? The plot to this movie makes no sense. Like I said earlier, there are interesting ideas in this movie. I do get it. There are very interesting ideas in this movie that they try and go with. Do they work? No, they don't work, because the film that they've set up is a Halloween movie. This is the final Halloween movie. Why are you being all experimental now? That doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense in the context of the film either, because I'm going to say this right now. Michael Myers is in, like, 4 scenes. 4 scenes in this, like, way too long movie. It felt, oh my god. 4 scenes he's in this movie. Who thought that we should make a Halloween movie where Michael Myers is in 4 scenes and does literally nothing basically the entire movie? The entire movie! Who thought that was a good idea for their last film? If anything at this point, Halloween Kills should have been the ending to this. Halloween Kills might have had a better ending than this movie. And 100% it would, because Halloween Kills, not the perfect film at all. I still don't like that movie. It knew what it was. It knew what a Halloween movie was, and it gave people what it wanted. It gave people genuine suspense, kills. They gave them a plot that at least semi-made sense for a Halloween movie. Everything was better in that movie than this. I have no idea why they decided to get all artsy-fartsy in this movie out of any of them. But of course, since the plot makes 0 sense, you have no idea what the fuck is going on throughout the entire film. The entire film is I can't even say it's a sequence of events. It just feels like a really bad Hallmark drama that is a Halloween movie. But the drama isn't even good. Like, they try to make it good and they try to make it interesting, but it's so rushed, so poorly executed, and just so, like, out of touch with the movie that it's in, that it's kind of laughable. It's honestly laughable. It's crazy. And even with these plot lines that they try to explore in this movie, they don't do anything with them because they're so rushed. They feel so forced. And I know people are you're gonna know, if you ever see this movie, you will know what I'm talking about. There's a relationship with 2 characters, I won't say who, and within 10 minutes of knowing each other, they love each other. Instantly. It's so rushed, and they don't even have good chemistry. There's no chemistry between them. And they're trying to sell you that she loves this guy, and this guy just wants her to be happy. They don't care about each other at all. There's nothing. It was awful. And it was so boring. Nothing happened this entire movie that actually got me excited for anything. The movie kept going on, and I just kept saying, this needs to end. This is awful. It's not going anywhere. I know what it's going to do, and it's just going to be a huge disappointment. And guess what? It was. I'm going to, like, call it a day on this video. If you guys want a review from me, like a ranking, it's a 2 out of 10. There is genuinely no redeeming qualities about this movie besides the 2 that I said. And I genuinely mean that. There is nothing in this movie that is of any value. Nothing. It is so bad, and it is the worst possible way to end a big franchise like this. But anyways, thank you for watching this video today. If you liked what you saw here, my rant, subscribe and hit the like button down below. And I will see you in the next video. So I hope you have a good day.